everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Vlog. I'm Lene Gehrig and I'm really excited to bring you some of my favorite stamps from Lavinia stamps. These are all that pixie fairy theme that they do so well, and these are all sort of geared towards Christmas. So the first one here is Fir Tree Clear Stamp. Then there's Sky Pixie Clear Stamp. This is Small Pixies. And then we've got Mistletoe Stamp. This one is called Christmas Tree Fairy Verse Stamp, and I won't read it, but it is a really sweet little poem. And then this one is the Spirit of Christmas Verse. So let me show you, get right to it, and we'll show you exactly what we did with these. And this one right here, I used pretty much all but one of these stamps. What I did was I like to start with doing my background first. Let me show you some of the tools that I find really helpful when working with creating your own background. The first thing is the moonscape that is on this card. It's very popular with that look that Lavinia does. And so I started off with a circle cutting die right here. This is about 3 inches. I forgot to measure it. And I used a little acetate, and I even put a little piece of tape behind it just to give it a little stickiness to stay in place. So I die cut the circle from acetate, and we have this by the sheet at Paper Wishes. You don't need to get the heat resistant kind because we're not using it for that property. Just plain old acetate will work. If you don't have acetate, you could always use a sheet protector, although a piece of sheet protector isn't quite as stiff. I don't have as much luck with that. Okay, and then I also have got to have my blending brushes. Okay, they come in a pack of 3, small, medium, and large. That's crucial. So the first thing I did was I started with my blank white card. Okay, and then I put down my little circle, and then I used the following colors. I used Oasis. This is Harmony by Spectrum Noir. It's water reactive, didn't use it for that purpose. I really liked that color. And then also it's sort of a really nice aqua color. And then the Lagoon color is great because it's got a darker finish to that. So I did the whole card with the Lagoon, and then I went around the edges. Do this a little bit right here while we can. Do this a little bit just like this, just to darken up that edge around the edge of the moon. Really makes it pop that way. Okay, like that. And then on the center, I did a little bit of yellow before I stamped my fairies. And for that, I used the same Harmony by Spectrum Noir. I used the Honey Pot color. And with that, I just went, of course, before you stamp your fairies, I just went on that, around that, kind of staying away from that edge so it has a little bit of a white edge there. All right, so then at that point, I went ahead and stamped the verse, and I went ahead and stamped that twice, just extending off of the edge. And then you could stamp it incomplete on the inside of the card. And then I stamped my little fairies. I did each of those twice using the darker Lagoon color as well. And then I stamped the tree, the fir tree, just at various lengths and or various heights rather, some of them reaching up into the moon. And I used both colors of blue, both the Oasis and the Lagoon for that. Okay, and then I ended the whole thing with a little mist of, this is Prism Glimmer mist, and this is in Glamour Gold, and I would just hold it back, you know, about 12 to 15 inches and just mist it a little bit. Because it is wet and we've used that water reactive ink, it does give it a little bit of, it bleeds a little bit into that, and I liked that look for that purpose. All right, so for the next card, there we go. For this next card, I wanted a larger format, so I cut my background paper, which, if you don't really like making your own backgrounds, the Lavinia Dreamscape papers are wonderful. I've used many of them out of here. We'll just go ahead and take you through this. They're already done in these wonderful, beautiful, dreamy collections. And I started with that, and I cut that paper down to 5 3/4 inch square. Okay, and then I took my gold sparkle holographic paper And I cut that down to 6 inches. It's a 12 by 12 paper, 6 inches wide, 12 inches long, scored the center, folded that, and that became my card base, okay? So that means you're gonna have white on the inside, but I went ahead and put another piece on the inside and added my fairies. And here I stamped the first part of the greeting because I felt like it was just too much for the whole thing. So I just masked off the bottom. I didn't ink that part, stamped that there, and then stamped the last 2 verses on the inside. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Did the same moon technique right here, used grasshopper on this one and went around the edges there, and then I made some mountains. How did I make the mountains? Well, you could use a stencil for that, or you could just grab some cardstock, and that's what I did. I grabbed some cardstock, tore an edge here, it's just scrap, and I put it right there, and then I did black ink, the same black ink that I'm stamping. This is a permanent black ink. This is waterproof dye ink from Finesse Spectrum Noir. And I did black around that top, and then I used that same color green, changed my brush, and did green down below that and just sort of blended the black and green. So that's how you're getting that black top edge with a little bit of green down below. Stamped my trees and my fairy and the mistletoe extending off the edge at the top, all using that same permanent black ink. And then after that, I wanted to add a little sparkle, so I did my little sparkles on the Christmas trees. I didn't want them to look overtly like Christmas trees with big ornaments on them. I just wanted to give them a little bit of sparkle. Okay? And then on the inside, same technique at the bottom, same trees, fairies, but here's a little thing I wanted to show you. I usually don't stamp on the left side, but here's what I did. When I was masking off my stuff here and stamping, I had some ink on my hands and it went whoosh on 2 places on the side of my card. Oh no, I was all done. So what am I gonna do? I just took 2 of the little fairies and I stamped it right over my little smudges, and I was really proud of myself that I was able to save my card. So that just goes to show you there's always a way to save it. Don't start over. Okay, so then, oh, here. I wanted to show you this part. I forgot that I had this all set up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this technique right here using that black ink. And I should use my craft mat. All right. So we're going to start like this, and we're going to keep this edge a little off kilter because we're making a little mountain for the little fairy to sit on, so we want to make sure we're getting it high enough. So just along that top edge, along that torn edge rather. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the green grasshopper, and I can use the same blending brush because I want them to blend those colors together anyway. I don't mind if it's dirty with the black on it. All right, so that's how that goes, like that. And I've already done the moon, and I've already done some of the hills. Okay, so moving on. So my next card, I wanted to feature the mistletoe a little bit more prominently. So here, I should mention what kind of stamp paper I use. I like this Hunky Dory Lightweight Essentials card block. It comes in 75 sheets of wonderful paper that's great for stamping on. So what I did was, took a sheet of this and I cut it down a little smaller. And this is, what size is this? A5. So I think I cut this down. I should have measured it, you guys. It's about 5.5 inches wide. And then I took my little gold sparkle and matted that. And then what I did is, to start off, I went ahead and inked the edges of my paper, inked all around with the grasshopper. And I put my little moon mask on there. And I went ahead and did the grasshopper green all the way around that, okay? Then I just put my mistletoe stamp right there, and I just began stamping all the way around. You see, I got almost all the way done. And they're pretty evenly spaced all the way around. And then what I did is I went ahead and went back to my grasshopper ink pad, and then I stamped in between each one of these with that grasshopper color, okay? And generally I like to use a stamping platform when I'm using these, because they have that block stamp and you want that really saturated black there. So I like to be able to just repeat it until my stamping image, so that I know I've got that image really well. But for this case, I wanted a little bit more of a distressed look, a little bit more pulled back. And so I went ahead and used my stamping block and went all the way around with the black and then with the grasshopper ink. Then I inked the center with that same honey pot color. And then I went ahead and I stamped my sky pixie fairy and then one of the small pixies. And then I colored those wings using the Prism Glimmer Mist. And I just sprayed a little bit right there. And I used a tiny little paintbrush and I just painted in between each of those black lines for the wings. And it just hardly took any time at all to get those taken care of on both of those. And then of course stamped my little sentiment there, the Spirit of Christmas clear stamp verse. I forgot to show you though, on my last card, you can see here with the wings, they also have a little sparkle on them. And for that, I used this Spectrum Noir Sparkle, and this particular color is clear. Which color it is, you guys? This is the Crystal Clear Sparkle Glitter Ink. I had that written down, I'm so glad. And this stuff is wonderful. Okay. This up so I don't put my hand in it. This stuff is great. You're just going to be painting this on also with a small little brush. And I feel like fairy wings and pixie wings all need that extra little sparkle. And it's just very easy to add that on there. Okay, so you guys, we've got a great money saver on this. Don't miss that. If you're watching us on our vlog page, then the money saver photo is directly to your right. You just click on that. And if you're watching us on YouTube, then just look below the video and you will see a link to our Money Saver special. And if you're watching us, I already said that, if you're watching us on our vlog page, it's right to the right. Anyway, click on that link. And there's also a link to paperwishes.com where you'll find more videos and lots more fun things to play with. So thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time.